Welcome Traveler, I'm Free2Play and I'm your guide to a successful free-to-play adventure on Ostera. Today I'll build 2 soul weapons with you and explain a bit about which weapons I was using for my recent clears. The 2 soul weapons I'm going to craft are: one fortune weapon for Loomis to be a stronger passive healer, and one hollow hell axe for Xenia to increase her damage limit in the living world. In between, I'll talk a bit more about those weapon types, so if you're interested on specific weapons, just use the right timestamp. In the near future, I want to make a video about soloing Apothecary Tower EX5 with Xenia, which is a fight I need Loomis for in the back row. Her healing passive is also getting stronger the more elemental attack that weapon has. She also has to be durable enough to survive one hit of the enemy if she has to switch to the front. So I want her not to have HP down nor physical defense down negatives, even if the latter are not mattering too much. I want her to be as sturdy as possible. I also slotted in Primax Rainbow Soul because of the additional 20 elemental attack. This weapon can also be used by Primax for her healing capabilities, so it's good I build it now. So she heals 1923 with her healing passive, which has a potency of 100. Now let's get some dice polished stones to upgrade that weapon and see how much the passive healing has been improved. Fortune weapons level 2 have a higher grade and therefore are stronger than level 1. I made a video about testing that in particular, and it was roughly about 6% more powerful. Oh, Happy New Year! The heal resembles 5.25% increase to the one before, so just like I've tested. Let's see if that is enough to solo Apothecary Tower. So there are many reasons to make fortune weapons to begin with. One of them is when you have more skills you need the potency up for. Lars is a good example for that. His Wild Blazing Blade being good against single target enemies, but is not preferred in the Warrior Training Tower EX5. So having the Brutal Blazing Blade hitting all enemies in the way is the way to go here. If your damage against the enemy would be capped at 99,000, then you should use a Hollow Hell weapon with that potency up sold like I used on Serenoa here. So next up is the Hollow Hell Axe for Xenia. Her strongest nuke hits 260 potency plus 20% additional damage when the enemy is poisoned, and it always hits damage cap when used with fortune weapons. Of course, axes are used preferably for physical attacks, so having an elemental hitting axe is already very powerful. I'm doing 149k damage poison mist right now, but I need to do a little more damage with her, so let's try if we can achieve that. I'm not very optimistic about it, but let's give it a try. The Hollow Hell weapon is the only weapon right now which has one slot for increasing elemental attack or speed, which is preferred for the specific situation in battle, has a skill percent up, and can limit break the damage by 50k maximum. Xenia will lose a lot of elemental attack with that hollow weapon, so I need to at least improve the damage done by the weapon with a skill percent up. A Hollow Hell weapon doesn't give any bonuses stats when fully sold, so I don't need to slot in a Sun Soul here. So around 5,600 damage were missing to hit that new damage cap of hers. And that is not good, to be honest. But you will see in the next test. For that one, I need to slot in the skill percent up and got 12% on anaphylaxis, which is needed. I also had to increase the damage cap even further, but I even ramped that new cap. So the 12% did increase the damage a lot, which would be useful, but not in this case when I can make the same damage with one poison mist with a fortune weapon. But when we're at it, Alpha Primus from my Discord group asked the question how the potency percent up is affecting the damage. If I just use that skill without ramming the cap just like before and erase the potency up again and do a little math, then my damage got reduced by 9.5%. So where are the missing 2.5%? Maybe that's the elemental defense or grade of the enemy. So building hell weapons which can go over the damage cap just for a little to no effect because the weapon damage is not boosting their skill element or weapon type, then this would be a waste of materials. Best way is to wait until there will be a possibility to increase their damage cap without the need of building new weapons, so they can keep their fortune weapons and still go over the damage cap. Coming back to Serenoa's Hellblade, I had to insert a speed soul, so he is the fastest out of the group without the need to put some speed accessories on him. That is what I was talking about earlier. He needed to deal damage and still had to have the free slots for 2 important accessories in that fight. With the extra speed, he was able to buff the group before Haze coming to the front breaking, because you don't need the attack buff on him. Generally said, if you can decide which souls should be slotted in your weapon, prefer using less HP down and go for physical defense down from the Bewitched Souls or elemental defense down from the Tainted Souls. A mix of both is a good idea. If you don't like being more weak to physical or elemental attacks, then you can always go for elemental attack down or physical attack down if you are using the opposite stat for attacking. The last weapon I use mainly is the Stalwart Hell weapon, because that is the only one which can go over the damage cap of 150k, which is acquired by hard-hitting units like Olberic, Roland or Frederica. The latter unit is the most powerful out of the 3, with an enormous ultimate which is guaranteed to hit your build cap. So to sum it up, build Fortune weapons if you have multiple attacks in the living world, Hollow Hell weapons in the living world only if the strongest attack of the unit is a nuke and, for example, is a warrior using a sword, and Stalwart Hell weapons if you need to exceed the damage cap even further, because those units are way too powerful and ram the damage cap every time. A little spoiler here from the ending of BOA 6. We can't know for sure what this is supposed to mean and what Xanthus did to the world and what weapons we can use from now on, or if there is something else waiting for us in the next chapters, but knowing which weapons I took to beat several content before that event may help you get through stuff easier, reaching the exact point in the story faster, or beat subquests finally to get better accessories or more rubies for your desired pull. So I hope all your questions have been answered regarding the weapons we have in the game right now, and if not, ask in the comments or in my Discord group as Alpha Primus did. And if you'd like this channel to class up, I really appreciate a subscription if you didn't already, and give thumbs up to this video if you liked what you've seen. See you next time, you're free to play.